This week on the Game Marks podcast, we go back to 1995 in New Japan Pro Wrestling as we load up Shin Nippon Pro Wrestling Toukon Retsuden. We answer the burning question, will we play it forever? Woo! Or future endeavor?
You're fired!
Plus, some gaming news and Clash at the Feast Season 2 rolls on. Plug in, put on those nostalgia goggles because this week's Game Marks podcast starts now.
And now, the Game Marks.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast. I'm the man they call Johnny Clash.
And I am your reigning, defending, are you glad that I brought it back? Clash at the Feast champion, Mr. Play It Forever himself, George Feast, and today we are playing Shin Nippon Pro Wrestling Toukon Retsuden.
And as always, guys, we love to hear from you, so please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and make sure to subscribe and rate this podcast wherever you choose to listen, and join the conversation on social media at Game Marks Pod. George, what's up, dude? We are done with our birthdays. No one has to hear about it for another year. We're moving on. We're done with WrestleMania X8. How you feeling?
I gotta say, I feel like the first... in podcast terms, like that first month or first couple of months of us hitting our year, it's like year starts for us. Then it's my birthday. Then it's your birthday. And now we're just like, all right.
Then we're rolling on to Gamboree soon. And
then, yes, like this period is like the most, like if we have a busy season as a podcast, this is our busy season.
Wait till next year because we're going to hit 100 episodes right before our anniversary and then just roll into everything else.
Oh, yeah. Once we hit 100 episodes, we've already talked about it. 90 is going to be a special episode, and 120 is going to be a special episode, and 120 is going to be an episode where, we'll talk about that the closer we get to it.
We got a bit.
But hey, last week, for your birthday, we played WrestleMania X8 for the GameCube, and you kind of wiped the floor with me, man.
I did, but you pulled off the win in the end because I chose Hulk Hogan. And watching back Clash at the Feast, editing the video, I was like, oh my God, why did I choose Hulk Hogan in a Hell in a Cell match? He had no finisher on the top. Literally, it was so boring. Like, you ran into me and I'd be like, okay, headlock. Like, I had no move to take you down. It was just bad character selection.
I gotta say, but I know technically I got the tally for that week, but in wrestling terms, I hit you with the surprise roll-up of wins there. Like, you absolutely dominated me the entire match, and then I just managed to, like, sneak in and get the win, which I know what you're going to say is my whole win reputation. I could see the smile on your face. I knew that's where that was going.
Okay, but I want to follow up on something that I said last week, which was about the Hardy Boys and the NWO theme song. I have no follow-up about the NWO version. I'm just assuming it was just a licensing issue. But the Hardy Boys, Adam Salzer actually sent us a Reddit thread from Squared Circle. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but it says many of the songs WWE had used were bought from production music companies like Extreme Music. They are available to anyone to license, and WWE may have paid extra to have exclusive license right for a period of time of the Hardy Boys theme song. So that's why we hear Hardy's and Hardcore Holly's song on like Spike TV or like a Ford commercial, because most likely they're just stock music and WWE had the exclusive rights to them. Also explains why eventually Jeff Hardy changed his theme song to that terrible remix.
Yeah, I feel like around that time there were a couple of WWE theme songs that were like obviously we mentioned Hardy Boys, Hardcore Holly. I want to say like there was like another tag team, like not like the Brood or anything like that. Like there was another big tag team around that time.
Too Cool, Edge and Christian, Dudley
Too
Boys.
Too Cool. Yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking of. But like,
oh, what a good song.
But that's like another theme song where like you would hear it in the background and be like, why do I know this song? It sounds so familiar. And they're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
People dance to this. I know this song.
But anyway, moving on. That was WrestleMania X8. We both hit Play It Forever. That was 3 weeks in a row. Will we do it again? Find out later. But guys, free giveaway. Free giveaway. Free giveaway. You could win.
What is it, John?
A free giveaway. You could win a Steel Cage Challenge plug and play for free. All you have to do is leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, send us a screenshot of that review, and that's it, guys. We're going to pick a winner on November 1st, and you will get that for free. Now, last week, George, I believe it was last week, you challenged me to go and play Among Us.
And are you addicted now?
Oh my God. It's the addiction's real. I mean, I went live on our Twitch playing. Elder Spork and a few others joined us. I would love to get a giant Game Marks group game going with all of our regulars, make a Discord server, get it all going. I am fully in. My friends are in on this already. Right before we started, we played a few games, and you could tell I was just like, again. It just like Werewolf. Which, follow up on Werewolf, I actually hit up Smart Mark Sterling, and I was like, dude, you play Werewolf? That's so funny. And he's like, yeah. I played at your house. I was like, oh, yeah, you did.
Well, so I guess I have you to thank. If you showed it to Mark, then that means that, and Mark showed it to me, then I guess it's just another weird way that we're connected in our past. So weird, John.
Such a fun game.
I'm actually getting kind of sick of it. But hey, I think I have some work to do this week where maybe I'll, a little peek behind the curtain. Every time me and John record this, we get to see each other's lovely faces because we have a Game Marks Pod Discord. But maybe we'll be opening that up to the public and we'll be setting it up for some gaming. That way, if some of our listeners even want to get together without John and I, you guys can get together and set up your own games. If you're playing Among Us, if you're playing Warzone, if you're playing Battlegrounds, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, we're going to set this up so that this could be a channel where you guys can come and connect and play together. And, we're really going to try to make a Game Marks community. Now, another thing, top of mind, 2 weeks in a row, going to just spring, maybe it's 3 weeks in a row that I'm just springing random thoughts on you. So we're the Game Marks podcast.
Yes, we are.
And our listeners, they're marks? Like, are they also Game Marks?
Yeah. They're Game Marks, too. That's why they listen.
Okay, so,
we're just the leaders of the Game Marks.
Okay, so, do we have different, is our title different than their title, is what I'm trying to get at? Because if we're the Game Marks and they're the Game Marks, we need a title to differentiate. That way we have something to call each other.
This is great a year, and we should have figured this out a while ago. But if anyone has suggestions, let us know.
So that was going to be the next thing. I wanted to open up the suggestions. Let us know if you are an avid listener. We know who you are. If you interact with us on Twitter, on Instagram, we love to hear from you. Let us know. Do you want to be referred to as the Game Marks? Are John and I the Game Marks? And then you guys have a different title. This honestly never really expected to get to a point where, you start a podcast, you're hopeful. Never thought that we would be at a point where we have to come up with a name for our listeners, but I suppose it's a good problem to have. And, I want to open it up to you guys and give you guys the chance to name yourselves, if you will.
So I always figured we're the Game Marks, they're the Game Marks, because we've said this a million times. We are not experts on any of these games. We are literally just doing research and presenting you the information we find. So that's why I figured Game Marks, we're all Game Marks, but I would love to hear some suggestions.
I was going to say, the only reason that I don't know. Well, I want to be, I feel like we walk that line. We're on both sides of the fence here. We're like, we're the voice of the voiceless kind of here, but we're also one of them.
Yeah, we are Among Us. Callback. What a good callback, right? Okay, guys.
That.
Speaking of, let's move on. Speaking of our community, speaking of our fans and our friends, Caught Looking heard your challenge last week, George, and they accepted. So, guys, look out for that episode coming up soon. We got to figure out the details and we got to figure out the details, and we will bring it to you in maybe video format. I think that would be better for a visual thing, Maybe we'll have some other guests.
after caught looking, maybe there's another little podcast that I want to call out, but we'll get to that a little later. But how about that new intro, John?
New intro, baby. John Lombardi, thank you so much. Like we said, winner of the contest. We're going to try to use all of the entries for something or other, so you guys are all in there because we really actually liked all of them. So
yeah, there wasn't a bad one in the group.
So thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe we'll bring Dave Sturcio back, but I think he's somewhere crying about Dak Prescott, so we'll let him grieve a little bit.
But listen, I do think it's time. This. I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but this is a very big time for gaming news. So, Johnny, what do you got for me this week?
Ooh, all right, I'll start. Then I know you got something coming up. Okay.
Are you looking to get a better grip on life? How about your video games? Well, VGF Gamers are the largest silicone gaming brand in the USA. They have a variety of different and unique skins for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One controllers and consoles. Check out their products at vgfgamers.com and use code GameMarks to receive 15% off your order at checkout. That's GAMEMARKS at checkout. VGF Gamers. Better grip, better style.
Bandai Namco Entertainment announced last week that the upcoming Digimon video game, Digimon Survivor, will no longer release in 2020. This game was already delayed to 2020 and is now set to release in 2021 due to the current world situation and the COVID-19 pandemic. Halo 5 Guardians will not be added to the Master Chief Collection. Developer 343 Industries has once again confirmed that there are no plans to add the game to the compilation. In a new blog post, 343 Industries stated that Halo 4 is the last Halo title we currently have planned for the collection. Sorry to crush your Halo 5 and MCC dreams, so let's finish strong. For now, that means some fans will have to stick with the version available on the Xbox One. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales fans are upset about a tweak to the Into the Spider-Verse homage costume. People who have seen the Sony animated feature remember the teen hero swinging around his signature jacket, hoodie, and Air Jordan 1s, but in the upcoming PS5 title, he's rocking a pair of Adidas Pro models instead, and the torches have been lit. The sneaker site Nice Kicks pointed out the difference on social media, and the fans made their distaste known. There's no reason for the switch just yet, but one can assume. And that's all the gaming news we have this week. Check back next week.
All right. Now, there's two quick things I want to touch on. John, we've talked about Assassin's Creed before. I just watched a video on
the new trailer.
Yeah. So I watched the new trailer. I watched some of the YouTubers and Twitch streamers who had access to the beta, and man, that's an unbelievable game. But I also went on YouTube and watched the I guess like a recap of the entire story of Assassin's Creed, and the Desmond storyline, like from start to finish, is just so it's so interesting. It's so cool. I remember like playing through that game for the first time, and like the story, it's so interesting. And then it just, we've talked about it, how it just kind of like petered off, and then you never really got back into it. But Valhalla's got me excited. But hey. I wanted to let you know a little secret.
Yeah, you hit me up with this, said you got big news, and I've been waiting all day to hear it live on the pod.
So I have a contact at a game developer, and I actually got some pretty big news for the next gen consoles. Now, this is just, I guess you could say, a little rumor and innuendo, but they told me that.
No. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
That's
I can't believe
amazing.
It, man. Yeah.
How'd you get that? I don't even want to know how you got that contact.
Listen.
We'll be using them again.
A good news source never reveals their sources.
Wow.
So,
all right, maybe I will order the PS5. I said I was going to wait, but maybe I need that at launch now.
Yeah, but listen, I don't want to dwell on that too much because get hopes too excited. But I think it's time that we hop on over to the question of the week.
Game marks while you sit there, hopefully as uncomfortable as you possibly can be. I want you to listen to me. I want you to digest this because I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I don't hate you, Marks. But the Game Marks podcast have their own pro wrestling tee store. Brace yourself, because the Game Marks podcast are now on Pro Wrestling Tees with original design to let everyone know if you will play it forever or a future endeavor. Head on over to ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod and get your tees today. Hey Nick Stapp, how you doing?
All right, so the question of the week is a weekly segment where we go back and forth and ask each other a question, and then we'd like to propose that same question to you, and you let us know your answers on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. Last week, it was my question, and I asked everybody, what was your favorite celebrity cameo in a video game? And Johnny, we got a lot of answers. This blew up way more than I expected it to.
First off, we got Ashes in the Snow, one of our favorite question of the week commenters. Said Ric Flair on Command and Conquer Red Alert 3. I remember that so vividly. This was my favorite one. The Elder Sporks said,
I remember this. I remembered this one, and this cameo is included in the remastered version that they did for PS4, and they updated the roster.
Is it okay? So what we're talking about is NBA Jam '94 had Bill Clinton as an unlockable, and someone in 2007 hacked the game. They kind of modded it, and they put Hillary also in the game, so it was them two as the duo on the Bullets, and they did this whole video of them playing against the Bulls. So you're telling me that Bill Clinton's still in the game if you were to get it for PS4?
Here you go. Your secret roster for the NBA Jam On Fire edition. The Beastie Boys. You have the Democratic Party featuring Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Al Gore, and Joe Biden. You have Republican Party featuring John McCain, George Bush, Sarah Palin, and Dick Cheney. You have Elise Cowrie and Mac from SSX. You have some of the people from NBA Street. You have Angry Mascots featuring Chompy, Tizzlewolf, Lol Meow, and Rar. I mean, there's so many, but it's such a cool thing that they updated the for the On Fire edition, and they kept the roster celebrity cameos the same and then added some new ones. It's awesome.
Okay, because I was going to say Nick Hudson sent us that the Beastie Boys are in NBA Street Volume 3.
Yeah, okay. So I think they're actually in both.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we got a lot of responses here. But check them out on our Twitter account if you want to see what everyone had to say. But George, it's my week, and I got a really random question for you.
All right, hit me with it.
So I'm sitting here yesterday writing up the notes, and I'm like, it's my question of the week. I am stumped. I got nothing. This is one week where I'm blank as my wife vacuums in front of me, and I was like, George, what everyday household chore would make a fun video game? That's it. Seriously? That's the question.
Leave all of this silence in. Don't cut any of this silence, because that,
I thought you were creative.
House chores? Dishwashing simulator? Is that what you want?
Sure, if that's what you want. I mean, we've all played Diner Dash, maybe something like that, where you're cooking dinner, maybe.
Oh, you know what? I want Cooking Mama for the week.
Oh, God.
That's what I want. Give me Cooking Mama.
What about, like, a car wash simulator? They exist. What about, like, a home improvement type thing where you just build things?
Pokemon Stadium for the N64 had a sushi restaurant with Lickitung.
They did. Yes, they did. There was a home improvement game on, I think, the Super Nintendo, but...
Yeah, that's like a platformer, though. That's not like you're not actually building a house.
Weapons and stuff.
Which, sidebar, I'm pretty sure there's rumors that home improvement's getting like
I saw that.
revamp.
That's pretty awesome. Speaking of revamps, shout out to Justin Summers. Dexter's back, baby.
Oh, baby. I can't. All right. So here's the plan. Me, Johnny Clash, Justin Summers, Dexter segment each week. in both of our podcasts.
I'm just saying he already asked me to do a Dexter podcast, but you could include yourself. Yeah. Sir,
no. Okay, I didn't know that he already asked you to do it.
It's fine.
That's fine. No. I was just that we do a segment and spread the wealth and do it on both. But I didn't know you guys want to do it. That's fine. Not here to step on anyone's toes.
But come on, let's hear.
Yeah. So yeah. Johnny, what's your answer?
I would
saying home improvements.
Yeah, I would build a house, paint the walls, put the tile down. Not like The Sims. Like I would, I want it in real time. Like I want.
You could be blood splatter analyst.
I want to. Ooh, yeah. I want to go to the fake Home Depot in the game and buy sheetrock and put it up. But then you break some. You have to go get more. You have to make 6 runs.
House warehouse.
Yeah.
All right. Well. That was our answer.
Wait, what was your answer?
Question. I said I want another ccooking simulator.
All right.
Or give me Oh, you know what? I take it back. What if there was a Windows cleaner, but it's you're the window cleaners where you have to clean the Empire State Building, or you have to go hundreds of feet in the air and clean the windows, and you have to deal with the wind and balancing your little cart so you're not swaying in the wind too much.
I can dig that. Yeah.
That's what I'm going with. It's not really home improvement, but Windows cleaner simulator. It's a horrible name.
This whole segment's just horrible this week. So
collapsible segment.
What do you say we take the plunge this week and we go to our hashtag deep dive? Hey guys, Johnny here. While we love talking about video games and wrestling here on the podcast, we wanted to share with you a new offer from our friends at Stitcher. An enormous amount of shows and bonus episodes are available on Stitcher Premium, such as Office Ladies, Comedy Bang Bang, WTF with Mark Aaron, How Did This Get Made, Bitch Sesh, True Crime Garage, Marvel's Wolverine, and plenty more. Right now you could sign up for Stitcher Premium for only $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year using our code GameMarksPodcast. That's all one word. Head on over to Stitcher.com/premium for this amazing deal and a free month. That's Stitcher.com/premium and use code GameMarksPodcast. That's all one word. Game on, Marks.
All right, so Shin Nippon Pro Wrestling Toukon Retsuden. I've said that so many times. I hope I'm saying it right. I don't know if it's Toukon or Toukon or Toucan. Who knows?
Toukon?
It's Toucan Sam, Retsuden Sam. All right, so released September 29th, 1995 for the Sony PlayStation, published by Tomy, developed by Yuke's. And Johnny, you actually dug up a little interesting fact about Yuke's, didn't you?
Yeah, so Yuke's was founded in 93, so that's only 2 years before this, and they were named after their founder, Yukinori Taniguchi. And that was his high school nickname, was just Yuke's. The first 2 games that the company developed were the platform game Hermie Hopperhead and this game right here, Toukon Retsuden.
Now, this game is released as a New Japan Pro Wrestling title, but due to the limited popularity outside of Japan, the original roster was revamped and created for Power Move Pro Wrestling, but still retaining the New Japan Wrestling movesets, and was released in the United States in November of 96. Now, you can find that episode in our archives.
Yeah, so we mentioned when we did that episode that there was obviously a New Japan port, and that was just a version. Now, playing both, you could see where Power Move was lacked. It was stripped of all New Japan. It was stripped of the arenas, the logos. I think giving it this authenticity of being a New Japan game elevated it so much. It was so much more fun.
Oh, yeah, and there's definitely features. I mean, we touched on it, in our gameplay. I'm sure that we'll touch on it throughout this episode. We may have even touched on it in our Clash at the Feast video, which you can find on YouTube. There are so many features that are in this game that are I mean, not revolutionary. That's not like the best word to use, but they're definitely interesting and not something that you typically would find. The first thing that comes to my head is the ability to like hold a move for the 5 count after the ref calls for the stop, which is I don't think I've ever seen that in another game, which is very interesting. But unfortunately, Johnny had to bust out that cell phone, break out that Google Translate, and
I'm good for something.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it was all for naught because for some reason the translating was pulling up the English words as Japanese words and saying there was something different, and then it wasn't reading the Japanese text, and at some point it said something about marks.
Soft marks. And basically called us soft for playing this game, I guess. I don't know.
But you have your Kaijo, which is your game screen menu. You have Tataki no Keski, which is the records and results screen, which you can get your results of the New Japan World Challenge, the IWGP Championship, the G1 Climax results, and you also have your best bout, which is, I guess, just like replays is the best way to put it.
Yeah, so after each match, they actually give you the option to save the replay of the match, and this is where those would be stored.
Okay.
Kind of a cool feature.
Yeah, it's I mean,
so much memory card space. So much memory card space. Yeah,
well, I was going to say it's very commonplace now, but back in the day, that's not like, you know, in SmackDown 1, you're not getting the opportunity to like save replays and stuff.
I wish.
Unfortunately, there is no exhibition for this. There is your game modes, which are Verse Computer, Verse Player 2, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Challenge, which is a contest against all other wrestlers in New Japan, and it is in a random order. You have your IWGP Senshu Kenshai, I hope I'm saying that right, which is your chance to become the IWGP champion. You have your G1 Climax League, which you are put into a grueling league match in which you have to wrestle every other wrestler in the game. You are awarded points for winning or drawing. If you lose, you receive no points, and the 2 wrestlers at the end with the most points wrestle to determine the overall league winner. And your G1 Climax tournament, obviously, is a tournament-style bracket.
Now, one last thing here, which we've noticed on every Japan title we've played, and that's the watch mode. This one may be a little less creepier than the other ones because there was some creepy ones, but
I'm going to say significantly less creepy.
But I'm not going to lie, the demo mode kicked on when we were just letting the home screen rest, and I noticed some things about the gameplay that you could do. I was like, oh, Scott Norton just hit a snapmare. Like, reversals are possible, and watching just that gameplay like kind of gave me a little more insight on what to do against you. So it does have its benefits, unless you just want to say, hey, I'm doing homework and I can't play until I'm done, and I'm going to just throw this on the screen and watch it.
Oh, geez.
Or, you know, like pleasing your little sibling. Like, yeah, you could play. Here's a controller that's not plugged in.
Yeah,
so they don't
but I
your
agree
game.
with you. It's definitely less creepy than some of the other games that are available in our archives. But you have your game types, which you can change your difficulty, which is training, which is just like very, very easy mode.
It's like playing against you. All right.
You have your sparring mode, which is easy, strong, which is normal, and cement, which is hard. Now,
strong like cement.
Strong like cement. That may be the weirdest sentence I've ever said on this podcast. And cement, which is hard. Thank you, George. Cement
Concrete.
is hard. You have your arenas, which is Tokyo A, Tokyo B, Osaka.
Okagai, Here we go. Let's hear you pronounce this one.
Okagai Tokusetsu.
Okaji?
Okaji. Yeah, okay. Okajai?
Whatever.
Oh,
it's an outside arena.
Yeah, it's an outside arena.
To be honest, it was probably my favorite one in the game.
You know what, John? Just gotta keep up with tradition here. It's now time for us to hop into the roster.
Oh.
And with that, I give it to the New Japan master himself. Take it away, Johnny Clash.
All right, let's see if I'm used to these names yet. Tatsumi Fujinami, Riki Choshu, Kaiji Moto, Masahiro Chono,
Nailed it.
Shinya Hashimoto, Hiroshi Hase, Kensuke Sasaki.
Close enough.
Sasuke, sorry. Shiro Kashinaka, Jushin Thunder Liger, Hiroyoshi Tenzen,
Nailed it.
Kaiji Kanemoto, and Scott Norton.
It's Koji.
Koji.
K-O-H-J-A.
Koji Kanemoto.
Yep.
That roster was
star.
cement. As George spits.
I took a sip of water and I almost spit out my water. Oh.
Can we refer to everything on this now as like cement?
I am cement right now.
Okay, I gotta go. The fact that I could see you right now in video format, I gotta go.
When Johnny Clash plays Rumble Roses, he gets cement. Now,
yes.
Be on the lookout on Pro Wrestling Tee Store for the new cement shirt.
It's just cement. Just a gray shirt.
Cement. It just goes a cement is hard. Now, there are some unlockables. The first unlockable you can get is cement. No, is Karo-chan, which you can unlock at the title screen using the good old cheat code. I'm not going to read out the cheat code. You have Google. Google it yourself. Some of these are ridiculously long. Your unlockables are Karo-chan, Power Warrior, The Great Muta, and Tiger Hattori.
I think I'm going to read one.
All right. I would like you to read The Great Muta.
Okay. Circle, right, triangle, up, square, left, X, down, square, left, triangle, up, circle, right, select.
We've come a long way from up, down, left, right.
Seriously. And then at the
BA start select.
At the selection screen, you just highlight Kaiji Muto and you press select and he changes.
It's pretty cool. In one of the matches, I played as Power Warrior, which was pretty awesome. You just highlighted Kensuke Sasaki. No, I can't say it. Sasaki. That's his name. Kensuke Sasaki. And you hit select and all of a sudden, Power Warrior, and he's got this crazy neon green face paint. It's awesome. Loved it. Now, this game does feel, I mean, we already touched upon how this is the original Japanese port for a game that we already played, Power Moves Pro Wrestling, but I mean, this does kind of feel a little similar to WCW vs. the World, which is a game that we have played, also available in the archives. And would you agree with that it feels similar?
It's very similar. I think WCW vs. the World came out in 96 by THQ, and it's very similar. You could see eventually where the games mesh with the Ukes and the AKI and the THQ, and they all come together because all the character models are very similar. Yeah, all the character models are very similar, and honestly, it looked pretty good. Like I said earlier, the Power Move Pro Wrestling didn't look that great, I think because it was stripped of all the branding, but once you put like the New Japan logo in the middle, you put red shoes, you got the ring announcer, you have like a decent looking 8-bit crowd for some reason. Everything looked pretty good in this game.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Very smooth, not much texture to the wrestlers, but like Power Warrior, you could tell it's Power Warrior. He was bright green, the black gear, and like the green kick pads. His face paint was prominent. When the guys bled, it was prominent on their face. You could tell that they were bleeding.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that there was blood in this game.
But I quickly want to talk about the controls because we were, I think, so thrown off with Power Moves, how it was a little different, probably because we were going, we know the controls to like the modern games and the N64 titles, but now we're going back. So L2 and R2 change the camera angle for either control. It doesn't matter. It could throw anybody off. Luckily, neither of us did that to each other. We played nicely, where L1 is your taunt, and then triangle is submission. So whether you're standing or your guy's on the ground, you could hit a submission with triangle. Circle is your grapple. X is your strike, and square is basically everything else. Get in the ring, get out of the ring. I think it was block. We couldn't really figure out how to block, but I think square was block. That's how you break the holds. That's how you try to kick out of pins, is by pressing square. And I think it was, once they simplified the controls, these games got so much better because there was just a lot, like everything was assigned to square.
Oh yeah. I gotta say, it is always a bit of a challenge going back and forth between the American titles and the Japanese titles, mainly because X is the back button and circle is the go button.
You yelled at me a lot.
I mean, not even that. It took me a while too. Like I was doing it in the middle of our matches. Like it's very
cement.
Yes, John. It's very cement. And what is cement, John?
Very hard.
Cement is just hard.
No, not
cement is hard. Full goddamn stop. But I mean,
what comes after it?
What comes after what?
Cement. Like, what would be the very hard difficulty?
Steel.
Diamond.
Diamond is very hard.
Marble.
Granite. Granite is hard.
Formica.
Welcome to Formica Wrestling.
Oh my god.
Okay. And then all right, and then it's like the very easy, like where they don't even do anything. Is that like styrofoam? Cotton? Yeah. Welcome to cotton mode.
I mean, there's just a cotton bowl.
All right. Well, hey, let's talk about this this cover art here because it's kind of neat. I thoroughly enjoy it. It definitely has that New Japan Wrestling flair, and I'm not saying that just because it's got the giant logo on the front of the package.
That's literally the reason. It's giant.
No, like that.
I love this cover.
I can't believe I'm gonna say this. That concrete style background with the fire and like I don't know, it's like that little bit of like a grunge background. It's got the fire, like the logo's even like a little bit like smoky embery on fire. Like it's cool looking. Like it's badass. Like
it is
neat.
It doesn't have any wrestlers on the cover, which is fun because if you're a wrestling fan, you know that this is New Japan Pro Wrestling. I would walk past and be like, oh, damn, they have a game? Okay, let's check it out. Yeah. But then you flip it over and then you have your wrestling screenshots. It's a lot of Japanese. I am not even going to take out the translator for this because I know it won't work already. But there are some pretty cool screenshots here. We've got a belly-to-back suplex. I think it looks like Liger's doing a 450, but the guy's standing, so I don't know how that's going to end up. And then we have a nice little Yakuza kick. So it kind of sets the groundwork for what this game is.
Yeah, it's I
way different than the Power Move Pro Wrestling cover, which just had a silly screenshot. That's a Power Move Pro
simple background too, just a like an orange to yellow gradient. Like it's not flashy. They kind of just like the game screenshots talk for themselves. Like it's simpler times, man.
Simpler times. I mean, just look at the Power Moves Pro Wrestling roster. They really tried with that logo, but it's just a bulldog in the middle. It's just not the same. But like the Judge, Danny McGee, doesn't do Malibu Mike. I mean, I'd rather play as like Liger.
Mark Malibu.
Mark Malibu. There was just a guy named Lance and Orange. A guy named Orange, not Orange Cassidy. It's just weird to me. I don't know, but they could have done. Yeah. I don't know. Who am I to say? So there's actually another version of this game that came out for the Wonder Swan. Have you ever heard of the Wonder Swan before?
No.
So
I cannot say that I have.
It's a Japanese handheld that kind of callback, kind of looks like the Cyberco a bit, but the screen is grayscale and it's similar colors to like a Game Boy Advance. And
okay.
It's very odd looking because it has like two directional pads on the left and then an A and B on the right. But there is a port for Toukon Retsuden for this Wonder Swan. And there's actually also a backlit Wonder Swan color. So it's kind of like the parallel to the Game Boy, I would think. Came out in 1999.
Huh.
Interesting, right?
It's a very different name for
yeah.
for a console. I can't say I've ever gone out and been like, I can't wait to play the Wonder Swan.
The thing is, it lasted until 2003, so I'm surprised we've never heard of this, but then again, we live in America, so
That's true.
that would make
That's
the
very
most
true.
sense.
All right, but I think it is time for us to hop on over to some Did You Know? Did you know in 1995, Yuke's picked up the license to produce Shin Nippon Pro Wrestling games and would later purchase a majority share of the promotion? Yuke's games usually contain the phrase Toukon Retsuden or Toukon Road in their titles.
And did you know the Toukon Retsuden series has a few more titles such as Toukon Retsuden 2, 3, 4, and Toukon Retsuden Advanced for the N64 Dreamcast and Game Boy Advance?
Did you know that this game currently sells for roughly $9.99 on eBay for a used copy?
Yeah, little facts. Okay, I got it. George, I mentioned this to you off the pod, but I'm going to mention it to you now on the pod, that a certain gift was fallen into my lap via another independent wrestler. He said, hey, I have this. I don't know why I have this. I have no use for this. I'm throwing it out. Do you want it? And I said, yes, I want this. So
is it the All-Stars controller for the PlayStation 2?
It's not that. I'm sorry, it's not that cool. So no.
Damn it.
It's definitely unique. It's something we've spoke about. So that's the cool part. I don't have a collection for this. I know you do. You collect the games that we've played.
Yes.
So it has to do with that.
The good ones, at least.
It has to do with that, and I think you'll appreciate it more than just sitting on my shelf. So
now, do I have to wait to see you to find out what it is?
I can hold it up on the screen. I just don't have it in my possession yet. It's being passed off to another friend to me, and that friend is on vacation right now. Normally, I would see him this Sunday, but I'm not. So you might have to wait another week. But it's pretty damn cool.
Why did that sound like you were just like, and I'm going to see him this Sunday?
This Sunday. Well, we golf on Sundays, and he's not coming this week, so.
Got it.
I'm 32 now. Golf is life.
Just be careful you don't throw out your back, man.
It's happened.
Back and the knees is the first thing to go. And you're already a wrestler, so your back and your knees are way more shot than the average one. Oh, man. All right, well, that took a sad turn because you're old now. But
that's the old guy.
Wait, so you turned 32?
Yes.
What? Why did I think that you turned 33? I'm 2 years older than you? Yeah. That hurts.
Yeah, Gramps.
I said last week that I was only a year older than you.
Well, for a couple days. No, actually, no. That doesn't.
Christ, I'm Father Time here. Yeah.
All right, so why don't you? All right, your bones are old.
I was gonna say, help me rest my brittle bones here, man.
You're looking a little cement. I'm gonna take you through some.
Don't ever. No, that was no.
I'm gonna take you through some ratings and reviews.
All right.
GameSpot gives this game a 6.6 out of 10.
Why are you reading it like a phone sex operator? GameSpot. Ooh.
GameSpot with a 6.6 out of 10. Glitchwave with a 3.3 out of 5 stars. Game FAQ with a 3.52 out of 5 user rating, and Next Gen with a 4 out of 5. How was that? Was that better?
That was good. You went from phone sex operator to radio DJ. I'm a big fan.
But see, with all these ratings, I think they're okay. They're a little bit above the halfway point, but the most important rating is our rating. So, George, it's time to rate the game.
The game!
All right, Johnny Clash.
Hey, that's me.
Shin Nippon Pro Wrestling Toukon Retsuden. Will you play it forever or future endeavor?
You're fired!
So at first, I was researching this game, and it didn't click to me that this was the Power Moves Pro Wrestling Japanese port. To me, it was just a Japanese, like a New Japan wrestling game. So I was a little like, okay, yeah, cool, New Japan. But then once I was like, oh, Power Move Pro Wrestling, I don't think we like that game, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. But then after seeing the presentation, after seeing the roster, after seeing the characters, after actually playing it, play it forever.
Oh, okay.
And George, I'm going to throw it now to you. Will you play it forever or future endeavor?
All right, well, I've really enjoyed this game. Has some interesting features that I thoroughly enjoyed. But I will say this. I do know that there is a Toukon Retsuden 2, 3, and I believe 4.
I believe there is a 4.
Now, keeping those things in mind, I believe that this may be a classic for those who played it in their childhood, but this holds no significance to me. Therefore, while I did enjoy the game, it did not blow me away. I'm very excited to see what they do for 2, 3, and 4. And that is why I will be future endeavoring this game.
You're fired!
Oh, man, you broke the streak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do it for the streak's purpose, man. I gotta be... the game was fun, but I gotta separate the game from the fact that I'm playing this with a friend. Like, we can be playing the worst game in the world, but if we have a good time and we make a million jokes while we're playing the worst game, that game becomes fun.
Yeah, so you don't count that?
No, because that's not the game.
So for me,
we're here to rate the game, not the experience.
Okay, I get it. For me, looking and seeing no story mode, no career mode, there is New Japan Challenge, there is the IWGP Championship Challenge, there is the G1 Climax League and the tournament. I think there's enough in this game to give it like enough substance for replayability. And I wouldn't mind going back and doing all that stuff like today. But I want to point out something right now. Since year 2 started, I have only future endeavored 3 games, which were Pro Wrestling for the Sega Master System, UFC, and Rock and Wrestle. You have future endeavored 5 games. But we've mostly agreed, so that's good.
All right. Well, you know what? Listen, I feel like, listen, year 2 is still young, man. We still have plenty of games to play. I mean, year 2 started in August. It is October. And we still have till next August to play a game a week. It's plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Speaking of things that there is plenty of time to fix, let's try to fix that record of yours in our weekly tournament called Clash at the Feast.
What's up, Game Marks Podcast? This is Danny Tancredi, and I'm here with my brother Johnny Tancredi, and together we are the Cult Looking Podcast. Each week we bring to you the latest news and reviews on all things baseball collectibles.
From baseball cards and memorabilia to bobbleheads and stadium giveaways, each episode will discuss the newest products to hit the shelves of your local card store and your favorite ballparks around the country.
Be sure to be following us on Instagram at the Cult Looking Podcast and on Twitter at CultLookingBB.
New episodes drop every Friday, so be sure to tune in wherever great podcasts, like this one, are available.
The Cult Looking Podcast. Don't get caught looking, start collecting.
All right, so in this week's episode of Clash at the Feast, continued the best of 3 series. First match, I was Kaiji Muto, and Johnny clashed with Scott Norton, and it was a good back and forth. A lot of clotheslines, some suplees, some what else happened in that match, Johnny?
A lot of bear hugs.
Bear hugs, some thumps happened.
Yeah, a lot happened. Once you realize that there's 2 grapples, like a grapple and a submission grapple, it changes the whole game.
Oh, yeah. And, Johnny Clash, master of the submission, snuck out with the first victory. So in the best of 3 series, it is 1 Johnny, 0 for George. We went into our second match. I was Power Warrior, and John, once again, tried and true, went with Scott Norton.
You gotta practice what you preach. If you're good, keep it up.
And again, good back and forth, a lot of clotheslines. Johnny, definitely had strong control in the first half of the match. Started to sneak back and kind of, pull the George Feast special, where I kind of start to get under John's skin because suddenly I'm getting advantages in the match that he thinks are BS.
It was like 6 suplexes in a row without me getting a move in or able to block it. It was nuts. I was like, this is the most George Feast ever.
Clothesline, bear hug, clothesline, bear hug, clothesline, bear hug.
That you could have moved.
Yeah. But after several suplexes, clotheslines, bear hugs, Johnny got me. Was it a bear hug or was it the single leg crab?
I think it was the crab.
Okay, so after that wonderful...
No, it was the bear hug. It was the bear hug. So it literally took a second.
Johnny hit me with a single leg crab, got a rope break. I got up. He clotheslined me. I got up. I ran to go get him with a drop kick, and he caught me out of the drop kick into a bear hug.
Say it.
Power Warrior just couldn't take it.
Say it.
Which means that your winner and champion for Shin Nippon Pro Wrestling, Mr. Johnny Clash.
Play my music.
Now,
cut the music.
With that,
I always wanted to say that.
I'm glad you got to do it. Glad that we can make a platform where you can finally cut the music. Now, with that, Johnny, you are up 2 weeks. No.
Yeah, I'm up 2-1 for October.
2-1. 2-1 for October, which means if you win next week.
Oh, baby.
You win the month of October. But if I win next week, we go into overtime.
Ooh. We're not.
Which means that... Oh, you don't even know what we're playing next week. I don't even know what we're playing this week. I actually was thinking that I might give you a choice of what we play next week.
Okay.
So, I can either tell you the games, or I can tell you the system, and you can pick from that.
Tell me the console so we don't give away a future game.
Okay, so your options are... You can pick from the Sega Genesis, the Sony PlayStation 2, the Neo Geo Pocket,
oh God,
or the Sony PlayStation.
I'm going to have to go with one of my favorite systems in the world, and that's the Sony PlayStation 2.
All right. Well, that means that next week on the podcast, we are playing Fire Pro Wrestling Z for the Sony PlayStation 2.
What have I done?
See, now you can't even blame me because I didn't even know what game we were playing because you picked it.
God damn it. Okay.
I kind of like that, though. Maybe that's what we'll do each week, where I will just have a list of like 4 games. I'll give you the systems, and whatever system you're feeling that week, that's the game that we'll play.
That's fine. I like it.
That's kind of interesting. All right.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to play.
But hey, what do you say? Are we all wrapped up here? Are we good to go?
I think it's time for you to send it home.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us this week on the Game Marks podcast. Please check out our Pro Wrestling Tees store at prowrestlingtees.com/GameMarksPod. It is currently the best way besides listening to support the podcast, and be sure to follow us on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. Leave us a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts so you can win that Steel Cage Challenge, and subscribe to wherever great podcasts can be found. Johnny, this episode has made me cement. So, because of that, I'm going to thank everybody for hanging out with us this week. And I'm going to send it to you to say goodbye.
Oh my God. Oh, game over, Marks.
That's Johnny's stressed voice. We're going to go playing Among Us right now, so.
Game Marks podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future Endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks podcast every single Monday.